In my own personal walk and in my work experience with my clients, I have learned that the dream is not often shot down or suffers from being able to come into fruition and manifest because there's a lack of being able to dream or imagine or use your gift to be able to even think in a realm of seeing something. When you see something, it begins. That's the birth of it. Whenever you're catching sight of it in the mind's eye, your consciousness mind, whatever the hell people want to refer to it as. But the dream is not shot down in that stage. A lot of times, the dream suffers and is not able to be developed or birthed is because nobody ever experienced it. Talk about the experiences of the process and going through the emotions and moving through the emotions, meaning that you will go through several emotions, and during this emotional transitional shift in your emotional body, there are going to be many things that will surface and you'll feel different things because the emotional body is meant to feel. And so no one ever tells us the process. Explain the processes. A lot of times you hear people talk about, they're talking about the end result of the trauma or the end result of, you know, how they went through this time and this period in their life, and they have a testimony of how they overcome. But where our youth is suffering, and where some of, not just the youth but some of the older heads are suffering, is because you are not being real and genuine about the fucking process. Meaning, showing when you are in the process, being transparent on a level of, this is what the fuck I'm dealing with today, and this is how I feel. I am going to honor my spirit by allowing my body the natural, genuine release of what my emotional body is feeling right now, and the challenge and the trial of what I'm having to be tested on, and my spirit is pulling me through. So this is how I feel. Like many of us women and many men, I find it in the community, men find that, it's a weakness for them to cry and release. Whenever you release your emotional body, energy is moving, which is energy in motion. So energy is shifting from whatever trauma that you have. So whenever that energy moves, you may feel it flare up. And so whenever it tries to come out through that entry point and that shock exit point, your chakra, you are blocking that energy from moving because you hold. So it gets lodged. You hold that emotion in. So whether you feel like you want to cry and it feel like it's, or you feel like you want to say something and you're blocking your chakra off, like you have this imbalance that happens in your sacral. I mean, excuse me, not your sacral, but your solar plexus. And really, what's happening, you're starting to think that you're not good enough because your emotional body is telling you, hey, we got to release. So it's going to exit out of your solar plexus. But if you don't allow it to exit out of your solar plexus, guess what? You're going to feel like you're weak on the inside. You're not going to feel like you're good enough. You're going to feel low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, or feel like you don't have, the ability to do whatever it is and how you need to move, because on the inside I have this release that I need to release and I'm not releasing it. And then my throat chakra is blocked off because I felt I wanted to say and speak and express myself in a certain way, and I didn't do that because I have this image, I have this, this facade, I have this whatever it is that has caused me to actually stop projecting the energy, not projecting, but stop me from releasing the energy that is rising up. And whenever a man or a woman feel like they need to cry or they want to, say something, hey, what you got to do is let that shit go, because if you don't, now it's lodged in your throat chakra, and your throat chakra is responsible for your way of it's your communication, how you express yourself, how you voice your beliefs and the things that you believe about yourself and the things that are in your spirit, the yearnings and the things that irk you. If you can't speak your truth, well, then you're bottled up. And so there are blocks, hidden blocks that people are dealing with. And whenever you go through this process of telling the youth or people that are, hey, you want to tell them the testimony and how you overcome, but nobody really tells them when you sitting in your shit. Hey, this is how I'm feeling today. And that in a terms in society has said that whenever you move through emotions and you express yourself, yeah, there's ways. That's why you have to learn how to express your spirit in a healthy, balanced way. Now, in the process of learning, the process which no one talks about of learning how to properly, or I won't say properly, but the healthy way that works for expressing yourself and your releases when you're going through the process, you got to be real with where you are. Acknowledgement, like acknowledging where you are in your shit, in your journey, in your process, what motion of what emotion you're moving through, and be transparent about that, because a lot of people are misleading people with these overcoming testimonies and not telling anybody, well, I went through this whenever I was feeling like this, and I see, I had this go through. But I think society has made people feel like you are crazy or something is wrong with you. Yeah, you're right, something wrong with me, and I'm trying to right that shit by expressing and learning to express myself and release in a healthy form that works for me. Now, in that process, you learn self-discipline. So during this journey, there's so many jewels that you pick up and you learn, and so many, stripes you earn, because you give yourself the grace of being able to know that you know not shit. There's not anything that you know about this situation. So guess what? I do know that I feel like this. I know I feel like that. I know I feel this emotion. I know this is resurfacing and coming up. But if you don't allow yourself to move through that emotion by releasing that and learning, okay, being grounded in your mind, saying, okay, being responsible for, how you move through energy based on the things that make you feel better within balance, and is not offending or hindering your spirit or others, and also making sure you are able to learn to cater to those things that bring you overall well-being in your movement, in your being. Because you come here, your spirit came here asking for the opportunity to be as in human form. So you got to learn how to trust your spirit. But learning how to trust your spirit, you got to sit with your spirit and get to know your spirit. Once you get to know your spirit, then your intuition develops more, and your spirit is able to train your mental how to teach your fucking physical body, this 3D form, how to move in this existence. Otherwise, you stuck giving people half of the fucking jewels that you're supposed to give them, and half of the message by, oh, we shall overcome, and hey, we overcame, and this is, you just got to do this. And no, be empathetic. Tap back into your spirit. Go back and speak to yourself, because whenever we meet people and we cross energy with people, we cross paths, we are transferring energy, and you are meeting your reflection. So you may meet a reflection of yourself of what you used to be. You may meet a reflection of yourself of where you are now. But either way, whatever part of your reflection that you meet, you home with that shit, and you that's a sacred space, and that's where you honor the energy. Now in that space, that's where you have self-discipline and taught your spirit, and spirit will teach you how to flow and move and give that individual reflection what it needs from you, whatever because we have each other's keys. So when you have somebody's keys and they have your keys, you give them those keys because they needed to unlock that door, and you needed this experience to go through this so that you can learn how to unlock this door, these compartmental boxes that are locked in our mental and in our spirit, our spiritual, allowing it to flow with spirit. So you have to exchange energy and give people the highest form of elevation to elevate each other. Otherwise, if you are just depreciating each other's energy and you giving somebody some old half-ass, non-genuine shit just to kind of, move through the continued facade of we shall overcome bullshit, and your ass ain't even overcame this area. Otherwise, this reflection will not be coming and resurfacing energy with you, or you will not start to move through that same cycle of energy that you claim you already overcame and moved through and have this great testimony. No, you are always healing. Even as a great healer, you are always healing. And the thing is, as a healer, as a mentor, as a person that is standing in their rightful position, you never stop learning. You never stop healing. I think whenever the healing break takes place, it's probably when your damn spirit say, okay, you got this lesson. This is what we were supposed to go. This is what we were supposed to get. And now we on our way. So we out. You know what I mean? But all this pretending to, I always move through with the excellent. No, let people know and let the youth know the excellence is moving through, doing all you have, being a good steward of everything you got and using everything you got in the time and space that you are now, and just allowing yourself to be still and be and learn, how do I allow my spirit to move, and train, allowing your spirit to train you what it is you're supposed to get out of this process and this lesson, and understanding that I am going through the process. It is okay that I'm going through the process. I am learning through the process, and I don't know shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I do know that I am learning and I am growing. And I think we need to get this weight off of the youth, and making them feel like they have to grow up and know and have it all fucking figured out. You don't have to have shit figured out, and because you know what you figure out is that you don't know shit, and you figure out that you always learning, and you figure out that you're always growing, and as long as you allow yourself to be open to learning and growing, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But all this putting the pressure on the youth that you need to have it all all this shit figured out, and you need to have a path, and you discover and learn your path by learning your spirit, by discovering yourself. But you can't tell somebody that they need to know all this stuff, and they over here in left field, and all these distractions embedded in these distractions. And because now that you have learned to go within, and you are sitting at one with your spirit, and you on your safe insides place in your temple, on your throne, which is where you're supposed to be. But at the same time, you need to be able to be, hey, go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. So whenever you're trying to speak life to a person, and you speaking and dropping all these jewels, but these people out here are full of distractions, and they have never learned and never knew how to go within and teach them how to be able to go within, you got to go out there and fucking get them, because they out there. They ain't inside. They out there. So when you outside, they can't hear shit. You inside talking from your centered place. The universe is allowing things to align and happen to them, to shift their energy. Synchronicities and cycles and stuff are happening to get their attention, and their spirit is throwing them different stuff, you know what I mean, to get their attention. But sometimes, people need that extra. You got to go out there and get them. Somebody went out there and got your ass. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they may not physically went out there and got you, but they whenever energy resonates with you and sits with you, and somebody's on your heart, and their spirit comes across your heart, and their energy feel, you can feel them and their energy feeling, they weighing on your spirit. That's what spirit is wanting you to send them some energy, because you will not feel them if, you know what I mean, it was just for, oh yeah, I was just, no, you thought about them for a reason. You know what I mean? When somebody came on, I meant to give them a call. That's why a lot of times people have these testimonies or these stories of, I was supposed to call somebody, and they came on my heart and my spirit, and the next thing I heard, they were gone. Well, why didn't you act on your spirit? So now you carry that regret, or you carry that I should have did. I just should have, because I felt like it, because you had some of that keys. But they still, you know what I mean, make their transit. The universe aligns. Nothing, nothing is ever a mistake or whatever. Everything always aligns however it's supposed to align. And that may just been the lesson that you were supposed to get from that, situation and that experience. But if you notice that's something and it is sitting with you and weighing with you, and you still carrying it, won't you start being fluid with your spirit and allow your spirit to move whenever? Fuck what people say and how people make you feel and what the hell they telling you how you should move. If spirit is telling you, your spirit is telling you to move like this and act and call somebody, or pick up the phone and text somebody, or pick up the phone and go outside. You're busy because I got so much to do today, but you want that same energy when somebody's telling you, hey, when you telling the other people, I need somebody to check on me and give me that energy, you can't expect that, because you don't have time. So how you spend your time is everything. And being a healer and being a person that is responsible for a great deal of people that's going to cross your path because this is your life's work. You got to be sensitive because there's so many people floating through this fucking world that are insensitive and desensitized and can't feel shit until shit happens, until another trauma has occurred. No, how about we as healers learn how to prevent traumas? Because we should not have the next generation going through the same shit that we're going through because we haven't moved through that energy properly in a healthy way. And we have this facade of I've moved through this shit, but we ain't moved through nothing. And now here we are causing a whole nother generational fucking trauma and stagnation. We're stagnant and ain't nobody moving through shit. We're just recycling, resurfacing the same and rebirthing and regurgitating the same shit in the next generation with this fake facade of I'm healed from this. Nobody's fucking healed from anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're still not being sensitive to another individual when you see them in their walk, how are you so empathetic? How are you caring? So you're just not. That's why it bothers you when something happens and you're just like, oh, that really hurt me, or that really bothered me. I was supposed to say something. Or the last time we spoke and I had more, but I was too busy. Sometimes you're too busy for your own spirit, because what your spirit needs is to release and give somebody their fucking keys and share energy and time and space and create a sacred space with somebody, but you're too busy. It's that simple. It's not even something so big. But we think we have such great jobs. Our greatest job is energy, is everything, and how you spend that energy, the way you choose to use that energy. Balancing the ego, the spirit body, the emotional body, the physical body, mental body. All these things come into play. And you have a great deal of responsibility. But how are you handling your responsibility? And part of handling that responsibility, how are you communicating and expressing that? Because you got so many people looking at you. Just like you were once looking, or you're still looking at people and looking at their how are you transferring that energy of your highest self when you meet yourself, when you meet your reflection of who you used to be? Because they come and revisit you for a reason. That energy revisiting you for a reason. So, what's the exchange like? Are you at peace with that? In all aspects of your being and moving through that. And be real with yourself. Be genuine. Because whenever you're genuine with other people, you're able to be genuine with your the people that your reflections. Otherwise, you're gonna keep a ripple effect of the same bullshit. Whenever energy comes up and people meet your meet your reflection of some stuff that you say I've done and I've overcome. But how do you move through that? How do you move through that? How do you move through it? How do you treat your divine reflection? Just because you overcome something or you've moved through an energy, the jewels that you drop and you give people is also important. Because, yeah, everybody got to work out their own spiritual work and do their own spiritual, go through their own processes. However, we share energy all the time on this earth from the time that you birthed and pushed into this world. You're surrounded by energies that's in the room that's inviting your new energy into their sacred space called family. So, yeah, everybody's, they're responsible for their own walk, and they have to be accountable for themselves and their own spirit. However, we teach each other accountability based on the type of reflection you're being. You ain't got to deal with everybody's bullshit. You ain't got to be accountable for nobody's bullshit or anybody's shit for that matter. But we are responsible for what we're the jewels, the energy we're supposed to transfer, and how we transfer, and what's that's like. Are you at peace with all that, and how you flowing in that energy, releasing and giving and receiving love within balance? If not, that shit is just whatever, some bullshit. You're not moving through energy, learning your spirit, learning how to grow in the art of being in flesh, training your flesh through your spirit. Your spirit is teaching you something. And you learn to use your intuition and trust your spirit. Trust your spirit enough so that you allow your mind to flow and think the way your spirit is showing you. And then your mind trains your body and your emotions. So we don't need to give people these false illusions, because you have people that are stuck going through the process, and you have people that are moving through energy with the best they have, and the best energy that they know based on all the knowledge of where they are in their life's work. And you got people like talking to you like they Jesus. And think about it. Jesus, whoever this Jesus or this Christ being or Messiah energy, he was out there in the masses, so they say. He was out there, from my understanding. So everybody, and he was teaching everybody how to become this, Christ being. As goddesses and gods, we got to teach our youth and the next generation how to be stronger than us. And because we've been here longer than them, and feel like we got seniority on this earth because we've been here a few years longer. You just been here a long ass time not knowing shit. And so allow the youth that same grace of, you don't have to know shit. I'm not putting that pressure and passing that pressure down that you need to have it all figured out, because that's a fucking illusion. If you had it all figured out, hey, the world would be totally different, wouldn't it? You learn yourself as you go. So it's okay. Be real with these kids, and these people that are kids with grown folks and still with childlike spirit. Let them know you don't know. I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm learning as I go. And it's okay that you learn as you go, because as you learn as you go, then you learn your spirit, and your spirit guides you to your path. But learn to be, and teach these children to be fucking happy. Like, nobody teaches you when you little they teach you and tell you that you need to go to school, get an education, which is all fine and dandy. They tell you to become these great individuals. You need to be a doctor. You need to be this. You need to do that. Okay, that's cool. That helps you learn and discover your skills. But nobody teaches them, or helps you have a good career and have a bunch of money. But nobody teaches you how to be fucking happy. Nobody teaches you that out of all the things that you do, yes, you need to make a living for yourself. You need to get a career and make sure you develop your skills and learn your skills and develop those things, but nobody tells you to be happy. Nobody tells you that you need to learn how to be happy. You know what I mean? And what happiness means doing things that make you feel good, that does not bring harm to you, and that is within balance and does not bring harm to anyone else. That's within balance. That's love. It's so many people spend their whole life's work building a great career, being these great, images, doing all this great stuff, getting all this money, developing all these different creative, ideas and bringing them to fruition. Doing all that shit. That's great shit. But working in nursing homes and assisted living, I've heard so many stories of elderly people talking about how they just want to be happy. So they have great accomplishments. They got families that, that have great legacies left to them and heirlooms and all types of expensive shit, but they didn't leave the expense of being fucking happy. One thing my daddy gave me, you know what I mean? It was a lot of shit happened in the process after my dad passed away. But one thing, with finances and shit, I understand. I did some things in that time and energy because I felt like what was home to me, I lost it and it went home. My home left. So I had to learn how to tap back into that space, that feeling, that emotion, that energy of the sacred space my dad and my mom and I created, which was home, that made me feel home, to resonate with that home energy. And I went back home within and I realized, you know what, my daddy left me an inheritance of the wisdom of knowing that it's okay to be myself. It's okay for me to continue growing. It's okay for me to not have shit, know shit and have shit figured out. And don't put that pressure. Don't have a Great Depression for years because you feel like you got to do shit that everybody's telling you to do. And it's so hard because society tells you if you go out and do your own thing and have your own fucking mind and be your own damn person, that shit is abnormal. You need to do what everybody else is doing so that, you can fit in. I've never fit in, like, to any group. Even whenever you know what I mean? Not because I haven't wanted to, but it's just because of who I am. I do have a way of doing things the way I want to fucking do it, and I'll learn as I go. Am I wrong for that? No. That's why I appreciate people that meet me in the energy and appreciate me being who the hell I am and allow me to be. And I allow them the grace to be as well. And in me being and them seeing me be, they see me being and understanding and learning myself. People think it's weird for you to sit with yourself, learn yourself, study yourself, and make a life journey out of studying and getting to know your damn self. That shit is crazy. But if you study other things, like I know some people that can tell you shit from archaeological facts and fossils and studies and etymology and history references and can regurgitate that shit like blah, blah, blah. But when you ask them something about, well, what do you like to do? Who are you? And, I know you like to study, but who is this? A lot of people just do this shit because their parents were great scholars and stuff. So that's just what they were trained and raised doing. So that's part of their financial root, establishment of who they are. But when you detach and unlearn all the shit that you were taught and trained and get back to source of who you are, you discover a lot of shit. I was just, I did it because, that shit ain't even have nothing to do with me. I was doing it because somebody else wanted me to do that shit. So people find that it's something wrong with people or individuals that actually detach from the status quo norm society's fucking standards and do their own shit. And be unapologetic about not, hey, you know what you're doing? I'm learning as I go. And people are like, oh my God, you what? You don't know what you're doing? You don't have a sense of direction. You don't have it all figured out. Neither do you, motherfucker. What? Really? So now I ain't shit. Now I'm supposed to allow you to put me up under these inferior constraints. Or, you know what I mean? You want to put me on this pedestal and put me on this these superior demands that I'm supposed to be this point. No, I'm supposed to be me at the end of the day, and I'm supposed to figure me out. As I figure me out, when I get different things that work for me, I will pass that on to other people and pass it on and pay it forward and allow my spirit to pay forward their energy and release their energy to the next person that can use it. Is very, but don't be sitting up here acting like I gotta have this shit figured out for you, because what you need to be doing is figuring out your own shit. And if that's working for you, namaste. My soul recognizes your soul, and I'm glad and happy that you're finding things that work for you. So allow me to do the things that work for me and flow in that energy and learn how to discipline myself to learning to find my happiness. which just brings me happiness, not having to fucking worry about what the hell you want me to be doing or how you think I should be acting and responding. So stop telling people that this is, how the process is supposed to be, and they're not, you know, having the freedom to honor how their emotional body needs to release. They learn, like the universe tell them, whenever they get tired of the universe whooping their ass and they find out, this shit don't work, they will stop. And yes, some will, you know what I mean, go until it kills them, because they are so stuck in that energy that that's all they know, and that's their life purpose and path, because that's what they chose. So we have to honor everyone where they are. But whenever you are supposed to give energy to somebody, be careful with how you share energy, and make sure you're not just saying some old cliche bullshit and making up some great, beautiful, poetic quotes that sound great and will be, great for the next business venture, but you ain't reached and touched the damn soul to the core, because you gave off some bullshit ass energy. Now, it sounded good, it looked good, it was all packaged right and beautifully, but the delivery, the tone, the choice of fucking words was all fucking wrong. And that's when we got to be genuine with ourselves and find out, are we really healing and passing on healing tools to other people? Or are we passing on bullshit? Only you will know, because you know how that energy sits and resonates with you when you sit with it and you think about it. So if it comes across your mind, and you cry and you feel the energy of regret, or there's grief you're gonna go through, but how you grieve, everybody's grieving differently when you go to these funerals and stuff. Like, some people are acting out, and you have the smokers, you have the drinkers, you have the ones that want to pop off and fight everybody because they're angry, you have the ones that are all these are forms of self-sabotaging, you know what I mean? So, but just it's easy to look at somebody else, how they're sabotaging themselves versus how you're sabotaging yourself. But if you can look and see that shit, you need to be able to look and see your own shit, because maybe you sabotage it because you're projecting, and you're talking about what other people doing, and being distracted with being outside of yourself, seeing how other people need to fix their shit and not seeing how you need to fix yours. You can't see because you're too busy seeing other people's shit. You in other people's business. So that's all I got to say. It's a lot, I know, but we gotta heal and pass on genuine divine healing to the next generation, and popping off and passing off this cliche bullshit, and passing off stuff that people can't use, and creating extended blocks for the next generation when you're supposed to move through this shit.